Also new at noon, the West Springfield Police Department sharing their support today for the family of Marine Corporal Samuel Wanjiru, who went missing off the coast of Puerto Rico last week. Wanjiru, who was stationed out at Chicopee, was swimming with some friends in the La Pared beach. This was near the Luqillo area before he went into distress. The U.S. Coast Guard conducted dozens of searches for the corporal, but suspended those efforts over the weekend after not being found. West Springfield Police have since posted on Facebook saying that they have supported the GoFundMe launched by Wanjiru's partner since one of the officers served with him in the Marine Squadron. If you would like to donate to that GoFundMe, go to our westernmassnews.com.